Welcome back. Hope you're all doing well. Hope your trucks are treating you good. Mine finally quit on me. Oh, it was a good truck. Give a little tear for her. She really, really did treat me good. 2 years, just made me some good money, and couldn't ask for anything more because the truck had a lot of miles on it when I got it. It was mistreated. But if you want to know what I'm doing next, you have to wait a little while. Of course, there might be a few hints here and there, but I'll get to that in the next video. But I'm going to tell you what happened with the truck and what I did with the truck. So here's the backstory on my truck. I'm going to put my glasses on, sorry. But I bought the truck. It was a 2015 Kenworth. I bought it a little over 2 years ago for $25,000 from a trucking company that hauled heavy and cheap freight. And the truck was not in very good condition. It had been wrecked, and they sort of kind of fixed it. It ran good, but it used about close to a half a gallon of oil every 3,000 miles or so. It needed some upkeep for sure, but it also had an APU that worked, and I thought that added a lot of value to the truck. So $25,000, I thought, hey, I can't do wrong with this. If it lasts me a year, man, I'm in good shape. So I bought it, and had I known at the time about one of the issues with Cummins engines, I probably could have delayed the rebuild for maybe a year. But at that point, it was a little bit too far gone to do really much about it. And that, if you don't know anything about Cummins engines, a couple of the main things that can go wrong with the older ones are carbon packing and leaking oil in that front cover, and this truck had both. So I bought it, and I ran it for 2 years, and it was definitely a very good investment. I cannot complain at all. And so about 5 months ago, I took it down to a mechanic in town and had him replace the front cover and the oil pan gasket. And when he took the top off, he said, you're going to need a new camshaft and you're going to need a new crankshaft, along with when you rebuild this engine, which needs to be soon. Lots of gouges in the shafts. So at that point, I realized, hey, 800,000 miles, it's been neglected. Who knows how many company drivers went through that thing, hauling 80,000 pounds, treating it like crap. So a couple months rolled by, I told him, go ahead and order the rebuild kit. And he said, do you want aftermarket or brand name part? The brand name rebuild kit was going to cost a little over $4,000. The aftermarket was $2,000. And so I said, go ahead, let's do the aftermarket, because I'm almost certainly going to trade this truck in, sell it, or something. I'm probably not going to have it for very long, so let's get this thing running. And I wasn't thinking a lot about the cost of the camshaft and the crankshaft. But I started to baby the truck at that time, really, really watching what I hauled. I hauled mostly empty trailers. I didn't do very many miles. I tried to keep the mileage low every week, and ran slow. I always run slow anyway for fuel mileage. And the last week, I did a little under 2,000 miles, and I was getting 7.8 miles to the gallon, and the truck was running fine. Just didn't have the power that it normally did. The power decreased over the couple of years I had it. I went and picked up an empty trailer, brought that trailer to the house on a Friday. Monday, I got up, went to the truck, started up, and it was running very rough. Tried to go with it. I needed to get that trailer. It was only a couple hours away to deliver the trailer, and got out on the road, and it would only do about 15 miles an hour, and just running. Oh, it was just clattering. It was horrible sounding. And so fortunately, I was able to turn around right away, park the truck again, got my mechanic over there in about 20 minutes. He pulled it all apart, hooked up his computer, and he says, definitely not injectors. He says, it's not looking good. And so I disconnected from the trailer. His shop was just across town, which isn't too far, and I limped the truck over there. And I made the comment when I dropped the truck off, he actually had the rebuild kit there. He said it was just delivered. I said, you know what? I think once you're done rebuilding this truck, I'm gonna try to sell it. And he said, you know what? I know somebody that might buy it. And so I talked to this guy, and he said, I had not paid for anything yet. I hadn't paid for the mechanics services. I hadn't paid for the rebuild kit, nothing. And this guy says, okay, this is my offer, and along with that, I'll pay for the rebuild kit and I'll pay the mechanic. So I'd had nothing coming out of my pocket for anything. And when I made the comment that I would sell it, it was just kind of off the cuff, just in conversation, kind of in one of those disgusted moods. But the rebuild, here's what I was looking at. For this guy to rebuild the truck, new crankshaft, new camshaft, it was going to take at least 3 weeks. And on top of that, I really, really needed to replace the fifth wheel. I needed to have the rear end looked at. It was leaking. And the week before, I had been driving the truck down a dark back road looking for a place I needed to pick up at. And I hit this railroad tracks that had been abandoned. There was nothing marking it, and screwed up the front end. So I needed the front end fixed and aligned. And it also screwed up my APU. The engine and the APU bumped around there and screwed up the start button. That was going to be a couple $100 at least. When a truck, the older a truck gets, the more you're going to have to work on it. It's inevitable. So I was looking at a list of things that really needed to be done that was close to $40,000. And once I got those things done, I was still looking at an 8-year-old truck with 800,000 miles on it. Yeah, it would have been rebuilt, but it would have been with aftermarket parts. And it was just daunting to look at that. And so when this guy made me an offer, it put me 2 long, stressful days thinking about this. Very long and very stressful. I had a plan before the truck went down of doing something on the side, but this sort of threw that into fast forward. I'd been in the truck market for months, and I'd finally stopped looking because truck prices were just outrageous, stupid. And any truck or any car or anything that's been manufactured over the last 2 years is of very, very poor quality. So not only if you get a new truck, are you paying a record price for it, you're getting a truck that has just been built horribly. So didn't want to go that direction. And even if I had, there's no way I could come up with $50,000 to $60,000 for a down payment for a new truck. Used truck prices, they're coming down finally, but they're not there yet. Dry van prices, if you noticed, for the past 2 years, you haven't even been able to get a dry van. Now people can't get rid of them fast enough, and those prices are coming down. So I knew I wasn't going to get back in a big truck. And, well, at least for several months. I'm going to wait until prices come down to somewhat normal level and then look at it again. But I needed to find something to do. And like I said, I had this plan on the side. Luckily, I'd been looking into something else, and it just worked out. You know, it was just luck. I'll just say it was luck. It was fortunate that I had a plan in place and I'd done my research and I knew most of what I was getting into. And so I'll cover that in the next video, and it'll be just another set of videos on a different venture. Hopefully a successful venture, but who knows. So that's where, you know, I'm going to leave you guys. And so no longer in the big truck, and we'll see what happens.